Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So in this video, it's going to be part 2 of the wealth ecosystem video that I recently did. It's technically doing an audit of your current life circumstance and situation, but with a financial lens or through a wealth lens. So that's why I combined the two and I just call it a wealth ecosystem audit. So I'm going to show you how to do exactly that. So yeah, go check out the video first if you don't understand what a wealth ecosystem even is, and then definitely come back to this video. We don't need to be perfect when it comes to this. It's really just looking at each of the different areas in your wealth ecosystem and tallying and rounding up the numbers to get an overall picture of where you're at. So what I want you to do is grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, marker, something to write with and something to write on. What I simply did was I drew a large circle on a piece of paper and I sliced the circles into different sections that equaled about 7 sections, right? So you can either draw a circle, you can draw 7 blocks on a piece of paper, like just grid squares. You can just do it in a list style, whatever feels good to you, but sometimes it's fun to switch it up and do something more that's like of a visual. Come back to this video, pause it, come back, and then we will work on what to label each of those sections and go over just briefly what the different sections of the wealth ecosystem consist of. So the first one is health. The second one is going to be relationships. Third is going to be time and energy. 4 is going to be education and financial literacy. 5 is career and work opportunities. 6 is environment. And 7 is identity, purpose, spiritual alignment. Okay. Health, obviously going to be super important. We're merging the mental, emotional, physical. We're just lumping all that into that one big category of health. So that one's probably going to be the hardest one to rate and to rank because there's so many subcategories for that specific one. So you can be doing really good mentally, but maybe physically not so much. And then relationships. So we're looking at romantic, friendships, colleagues, like co-workers, anyone who's in your social circles, right? Whether you're related to them or not is going to be considered under this category. Then for time and energy, it's really just how much time do you have available for yourself to do the things that you love, to do the things that you enjoy, balancing your time with the different priorities, right? So not only time for yourself, but time for other people. How much time do you have allotted to different activities, projects, priorities, and the energy capacities in which you have to show up. So that's also a very important one. Education and financial literacy. I included this because it's not just who you know or how much money you have, it's what you also do with it. A lot of the times we don't really know how much further we can be taking our money because we just don't have the knowledge at hand. How often are you seeking more information around wealth building and around just improving your overall life, right? So that's going to be very important. Financial literacy. What are you doing to keep tabs on your current financial status and how you can be better? So that's going to be that section. Then we have career and work opportunities. So how do you just feel with the work that you're doing? Is it fulfilling? Do you have a lot of creative inspiration lately in your life? Do you have opportunities available around you? Do you find you've been more resourceful? Taking stock of where you're at in your career. Then the next section could be environment. So that's looking at your physical environment, like your home and the space that you occupy and you live in. It could be the level of safety that you have around you or that you feel in your environments. And then just ecological alignment as well too. Do you feel like you are giving back to the planet? Do you feel like how you are living is in a sustainable way and positively impacting the planet and the environments around you? And the last one is going to be identity, spiritual alignment. So How connected do you feel to your purpose? How connected do you feel to a higher level of consciousness? Yeah, that's going to be very important, right? In terms of how you show up for yourself and how connected you feel to all of the other areas. If you don't feel worthy, you don't understand why you're here, you don't see the importance of you being here or what it means, you're going to feel definitely a lot more disconnected to your everyday experiences. So, how spiritually aligned are you ranking yourself there? And take the time to go through and rank each of these sections between the number 1 to 10, right? 1 being on the lower end of the scale, absolutely not getting any benefit or feeling any fulfillment whatsoever in that area. And 10 being maximizing the experiences in any one of these areas and just being able to actually be fulfilled in these areas, right? So 1, not fulfilled, 10, fulfilled to the max. And then pause this video, work on that. When you're done, come back because I want to go through some quick reflection prompts and questions you can ask yourself after you're done doing this initial audit. When you're looking at this chart, the grid or pie or list, and you have all these numbers, what I want you to do is 1, tally up all the numbers out of 70. And if you want, you can also give yourself a percentage from that number. So when I did mine, I got 58 out of 70. Actually, I'll just share with you real quick too how I scored. So health, I chose the number 8. For time, 9. Education was an 8 for me. Spirituality was a 9 for me. I always just leave like room for improvement. There's always ways that I could just be like more fulfilled in that specific area. So it's really rare for me to give myself a 10. 7 is relationships. Career, I actually did give myself a 10 because I feel super in alignment with what I'm doing, right? Like my coaching, some of the other creative projects I have underway, like I'm super lit up in my business right now, and that feels really good to me. So I give myself a 10 there. And let's see, environment, it's a 7. You could add, technically you should add finances into here. So I would actually add another slice and probably just put finances, like where am I financially? Finances, I'm right now gonna have to give myself like a 5. I'm not where I really want to be financially. I've taken a few setbacks just because of taking some time off of my business the last 2 to 3 years, and the income's been very inconsistent. I have a bit more debt and my credit score is not as high as I'd want it to be. And so I'm really in a phase of, I'm like in a bounce back period. I'm not really in my like glowing, thriving stage. So I would probably rate finances a 5. But the whole idea of the wealth audit is to like not specifically focus on money itself, but the ecosystem around wealth building, right? Because it's not just about your money. So that's why the focus, I didn't have a section for finances, but you definitely can make the 8th section be specifically finances for sure. So then you look at this wealth ecosystem, and I want you to ask yourself, what's thriving, right? What here is looking pretty good? And I would say everything here is looking pretty good, right? For the most part, like everything is over at least a 7 or above, which is a really good side of the spectrum to be in. Feeling very comfortable, feeling very fulfilled in all these areas. Of course, there's things, so that would be the next thing to ask yourself. What do you feel like you're neglecting? What area could you work on more? And what's required of you in order to improve in that area? And I think when you dive a bit deeper into that, how can you improve? You can look at it from 2 angles. Like, what has been draining you? Where have you been energetically leaking for that area? And then also the flip side of that, what can you do to stop those energy leaks? What can you do to actually set more boundaries within this area and actually strive for better, actually feel more fulfilled, feel more comfortable in this arena? And then the last question is, which one of these areas do you feel is directly affecting your ability to earn, receive, or manage money? So for me, I would say part environment, relationships, and my health are some of the reasons, and education. Anything that's a 7 or an 8, I know can be a reason as to why maybe I am not financially where I want to be right now. And a lot of that has to do more with like my business and just having some more support when it comes to growing my business and scaling my business, information when it comes to marketing, just because I've been out of the entrepreneurial space for quite some time. And now that I'm coming back into it this year, really wanting to take my coaching more serious and have it be a full-time occupation. So much has changed from when I started coaching back in like COVID 2021. The marketing industry, just the demand for coaching looks very different. And so I think it speaks to, once again, like needing some more support, just having some more education as to what it takes now. What does marketing look like now versus what it looked like in 2021? And also my environment, because I'm a lot more of a nomad, so it's hard to also financially thrive when there's not much stability in my environment. If I'm always traveling and moving around. Right now I'm staying at my parents for the summer, and it's not somewhere like I want to be permanently. But overall, if we're looking at my wealth ecosystem outside of just what's in my bank account, I think I'm doing pretty good. This just needs to translate now to what I want to earn and how I want my financial goals to be reflected. So once you do all of that, you've taken the time to reflect, what would be important is to do this on a regular basis, because now you want to be able to compare where I once was to where I am now, and to see if there's been any progress or if you've been like regressing. This is my first time doing a wealth ecosystem audit with you guys. I figured, you know what, since I came up with this idea, why not do this together? So I will check back in with you guys next quarter. So we're in August. I mean, September, October, November. So I would say November or like December. I will definitely at the end of the year check back in with you guys on like where I'm at, how I'm feeling. And I would love for you guys to do the same. And just remember, like wherever you are, there's always an opportunity to grow, to improve. Don't be hard on yourself. You're gonna have seasons where like right now I'm at an A-. Next month I might be at a B-. And then by the end of the year, I might be up to an A+, right? Things are constantly shifting. There are things that are coming up in our lives that weren't expected, that totally sometimes can throw us off of our path and the goals that we had in mind. And sometimes it completely shifts our vision. And then we have to rewrite our values as to what we want. We have to rewrite it all over again, start from scratch, or just readjust. So it's a constant, this is a constant practice and like ritual that you should embark upon every few months, whatever the timeline is that feels good to you, as a way to just regularly check in to see where you're at. And there should be no shame, no judgment, no guilt. I have been in phases and seasons in my life where I feel like I was at a low, but I was able to come out of it. So knowing that it's not the end all be all, it's really just information at the end of the day to know what you can be doing better. And that's all we really need to do. Taking it one day at a time and enjoying the journey forward as you go through this magical, wonderful roller coaster ride called life. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you are excited to take on this challenge of completing your first wealth ecosystem audit. Once again, if this wasn't that clear to you, definitely check out my original video, part 1 of the wealth ecosystem, to really understand what this framework is all about. This is a checkpoint, it's just a pit stop to make sure that you're on the right path. And actually, if you want me to dive a bit deeper into what came up for me during my own wealth ecosystem audit, check out the link below to hear the extended raw audio version on my podcast, where Yeah, I share a little bit more about my world and what I'm going through in this season. And then I will do another quarterly check-in at the end of the year, as I said. That will also be in a raw, extended audio format. Just giving you an update, right? It's really just like an opportunity for me to update you on what's going on in my realm, my goals, my struggles, my challenges, and just being raw and real with where things are at. And hopefully you'll be able to share and do the same. So hope that it was helpful. If you did find it helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you in another video. Bye guys.